Okay, welcome to a debate of the week, and this is about Roman Reigns. Guys, we had a lot going on this year. I personally had a lot going on this year. I can't even tell you most of what I've gone through because you get a little nervous about me and wonder if I'm okay or not. And I gotta say, I'm alright, admittedly. Not perfect because of all the stress that's been going on. I won't lie that my anxiety and depression has not been completely under control and it has been messing with me. But I will say that I am alright. But when you see like a Roman Reigns, the guy had gone through leukemia and then went through chemotherapy, just came back, and then this situation with the pandemic happened, he had to go away again, and now he's back as many say as a heel. Many would say he's a heel. The Sleg Daddy says he's a face, which normally a heel is considered a face in WWE, so I don't disagree with him. But his character now has a bit of a change. Now, let's kind of dissect that reasoning. See, in this respect, we now know that Brock Lesnar is a free agent. He is not working with the WWE. His contract has expired. And because he's not there, we now see Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns. And I do not believe, and this is just me personally, I don't believe Roman Reigns was ever supposed to work with Paul Heyman. He's always supposed to be with Brock Lesnar. But because Brock could not renegotiate the contract the way he wanted with the WWE because they had been reorganizing, they got rid of a whole bunch of people to save more money, you threw Roman Reigns with a Paul Heyman. Now, I don't believe this is going to last long because if Brock ever came back, Roman will be right back where he was before by himself. Now, I can't guarantee he'll hold this character for very long, but I will say this, it is something interesting. But, and I have this as a but, when you look at this situation has one thing written all over it. Rushing. I said this and I mean it. I have no problem with Roman Reigns having a character change. I've never had a problem with Roman Reigns, period. The booking has always screwed him up. His character's always been the same way. Whether he's a heel or a face, he's always had one major problem. It was the booking of how he did his matches and how he was pushed. Character-wise, there was never really the major problem that many people had. But here, this is the situation. Roman Reigns, as he is now, was rushed. Vince was so afraid of the ratings being so bad, instead of letting him come back like I suggested, come back at another time, not now, to really go after the title. He could have came back maybe another month from now, or he could have came back, let's say it is around this time. But rushing him into the world title picture, and I know a lot of people are so happy he's now different and he has a title, is wrong. Because it's been rushed. What should have happened is this. You could still have Paul Heyman with him because of Brock Lesnar not being there. He comes back, let's say at Survivor Series, and he basically from the time after Survivor Series does not go after the title. He destroys everyone. Whether he's a heel, whether he's a face, he just destroys everybody. Wrecks everyone and leaves, just like it's on his shirt. Just do it. And builds up into it. Using Paul as his mouthpiece. We didn't even get that. We got this damn match so soon after he comes back. It didn't even feel like anything. I know everyone else is happy, but I'm not. Because this should have been built properly. This is supposed to be the guy of the company. And even though I love Drew McIntyre, the WWE booked this guy for 5 straight years as he is now. And no one's saying it was done right. But this is what people recognize right now. And he has not been built properly. And I do not see this going down well. I see that this is going to go very badly. Now, mind you, because there are no crowds, there's no way anyone is going to complain. It's just not going to happen. The only way it's going to complain is, and not work, is that they don't have anybody watching the show. So the ratings can just keep going down like this. And even the people who are supposed to be doing webcams, they don't show up. And that would be the only way the WWE will finally get it in their thick heads, and that's Vince. I'm not talking about the writers. The writers still have to do whatever Vince says, because every single time SmackDown and Raw, they keep tearing up their scripts before they're even able to use it for the show. Vince keep tearing them up. So the person that needs to learn this stupid lesson is Vince. Stop it. Let your writers do their job. Do creative work without you there, because you don't listen. I'm making it clear right now. If anyone disagrees with me, fine. Vince McMahon, 40 years ago, was a genius. He was. He's 75 right now. In his 30s, going into his 40s, when he first took over WWE, which was WWF, he was a total genius. He managed to basically take the world in his hands right here, and he had it. Social media, which didn't exist, which was just regular stuff like MTV and any other type of shows that was out there, night shows or night shows with David Letterman or MTV or anything that's connected to television. He had it in his hand. That's how genius of a man he was. Now he doesn't have that anymore. And if anybody says he's still a genius, no, he's not. Because when a person's attitude comes in conflict with his creativity, he's no longer can be considered a genius. Because as long as he sees that his way is the only way, because he believes himself still a genius, and even though everything around him goes wrong, and he still refuses to acknowledge that the problem starts and ends with him, he's no longer a genius. He is a fool. A fool that wants to keep control because he's a control freak. He doesn't want to give what he should have already done. He should have given control either to Steph, to Shane, or to Triple H. One of those three should have already been running the company for a good 5 or 10 years already. When he was in his early 60s, he could have retired, could have been a consultant or an advisor, and could have let Steph, Triple H run it, or Shane McMahon run it. And it would have been a better thing, as long as he had no major control. As long as he does consulting, or basically like an advisory role, where he does a suggestion, but they take it into advisement, it would have been better. But we didn't get this. We got a Vince McMahon, 75 right now, who does not listen to his fans. He doesn't want to look at what's going on around him. And in the end, his ratings, which will probably be boosted because of Roman Reigns coming back so soon, whether you agree like myself or not, that he came back too soon, or he came back and they rushed his story to get into the title picture again, the ratings will go up to a certain extent. And Vince is going to be happy. But as I've always said, short-term gain, long-term loss. This is what we got. In the end, the ratings, which have been like this, will come up to here and maybe go like here. And eventually by next year, we're going to be back where we are again. And in the end, this time, he'll be 76 next year. Question is going to be, will he listen? Honestly, no. He'll probably have to get sick before he leaves. I don't want to see him hurt. I don't want to see him in the hospital. Look, I used to work in a nursing home. I used to see 70, 80, 90-year-old people sick when I used to have to work in a nursing home. I don't want to see him like that. I don't want to see him die in a nursing home. But I would love to see him just state on a conference call, I'm retiring. I'm letting my daughter, my son-in-law, or my son take over for me. I'm letting them take over, and I am going to be in an advisory role. Or I'm just going to fully retire. And that'll be it. Now the question's going to be, because of how Vince is, how far is Roman Reigns going to go with this new change before people get so sick of it? Because it's been so badly booked, they're going to hate it. I give it 5 to 6 months. It may even be shorter than that, before it reaches a point where it's going to piss everybody off. But it's just my point of view. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!